And we are live and we are back. Welcome back to the Wanna Parlay podcast. Your two co-hosts that are just beautiful at their jobs, Lance Bell, Jack Neuheisel. Jack, tell us who powers this show.
As always, our show is brought to you and powered by Wanna Parlay, home of the world's richest parlay, the richest winners, hot men and women alike. Generally just a good hang around here at Wanna Parlay. The main event 5 is off rocking and rolling early this week. We have Fade 1133 setting an early high bar with a 5-legger, 71.26 multiplier. So he's got himself penciled in for an early $2,000 this week, but still plenty of time to go catch him. We've got a busy leaderboard and lots of people aspiring to do just that. Right behind him, we've got Chris229 showing up multiple times on the board. A new face in the one-man Raider, currently positioned him for $400. And then a familiar face these last couple weeks and no stranger to the big board or big prizes. You got eSunny22 showing back up. And as always, we've got the parlay of the day, which is wide open. Congratulations to CL Weldo and Davin420 making $100 on free play investment, Lance. Zero money down, $100 coming home. And then this weekend, when we've got the big time football games rolling, there's always the pick 7. You get 7 picks, you're winning $777. It's good to be good here at Wanna Parlay. And that's Daddy. That's who pays the bills and keeps the lights on around here.
So I'm gonna go in quick. I was a little disappointed I didn't get to see a Will Levis dumpster class. They pulled him early.
He nicked up the shoulder in classic Will Levis form. So we got just a little taste. We got what we were promised in Will Levis on Monday night. We got the early pick. We saw hang on here. My bad. You got me?
Yep, all good. You lagged out a little right there, so repeat yourself.
Yeah, it's Joe Bags trying to fuck up the show, calling me in the middle of the stream. He knows better.
Classic Joe Bags.
Yeah, that's what he does. He's a menace. That's why he's all over the board. But we got Will Levis to throw the early pick, and then immediately it pans over, and they see him on the sideline. You can see him coming out of his mouth. I swear to God, I never saw the guy. And so, classic Will Levis moment there. And then a heroic effort to pick up a first down, does his shoulder. And I never thought I'd be saying I'm a Mason Rudolph. Sorry, guys.
Technical difficulties going on over there, Jack. All good, all good.
You know what? I tell you what, Lance, let me score.
You're cutting out, so you're all good. I'm gonna start with it's just me. What's up, folks? I'm gonna start with Monday. For me, I went 1-1. I didn't go any props. I just stayed with Titans plus 2.5, which was a W. Like he said, Mason Rudolph came into the game, delivered a W. What's his name? Huntley, not impressive. Dolphins are in shambles. I don't know what they're gonna do. Seahawks plus 4. Their defense got steamrolled by Jared Goff himself. He was 18 for 18. The guy couldn't miss. I mean, he was catching fades, throwing fades. The guy was unbelievable. So that takes my all-time record to a 14-16. Still not back to 500, which is pretty disappointing, but we're still clawing. And back comes Jack. There he is. I just got through explaining my quick little Monday recap because I went 1-1. I didn't go anywhere in the props. I didn't do any of that. I just stayed with the games, and I'm not angry. I'm not happy. I'm just right there in the middle. 14-16, still trying to get back to 500. Jack, take us into how your Monday went.
Well, I was coming off the hot weekend, off the 4-1 start, so I was feeling pretty good about myself. As you know, the NFL is never good to me, so I don't know what the hell I'm doing here. Started hot. Titans clearly looked like the better team, not for the reasons I thought, obviously. No Will Levis. Mason Rudolph delivers us to the promised land. I get the 37.5 cover on the over, which is an absolute gift. We've talked about it at length on some people that were on the wrong side of that bad boy. One of the guys on Wanna Parlay, who has basically assured himself to win the VIP experience, gets taken down on a bullshit safety call and then just brand new kicking rules. So apologies there, but good for me. I get a little richer, and then it gets really bloody. Seattle plus 4 never stood a chance. They were down 14-0 early, 21-7 early. They were in chase mode the entire time. Almost felt like I might backdoor that, which is just the perfect amount of torture to keep me watching that game, knowing I was on the wrong side of it. The 46 was dead before it started. I had the under 46. That's just a hot, fast field, I guess. That's a turf field in the dome. Not a lot of unders going to take place at home in Detroit, I suppose, because Jesus Christmas, that was dead immediately. And then, of course, Geno basically has the best passing game of his season, has 395 yards through the air, so that prop just sucks. And then, honestly, the Jared Goff bet wasn't even bad until he hits a 70-yard ball to Jameson Williams, and that's all she wrote there. So, yikes! 2-4, looking for a bounce back here. That was a tough Monday for me. But Lance, we now transition to a very magical stretch of the calendar for us sports fans, specifically as football fans. We entering tomorrow, October 3rd, we are getting 55 straight days of football. We're getting Tuesday night action. We're getting some Wednesday night bullshit Sunbelt Kusa stuff. We're getting some good stuff. So let me ask you this question, honest to God, what's better, Christmas or football season?
I gotta be honest. I say football seasons, but there's many fan bases out there, including the Jaguars, who will, I promise, will tell you Christmas. But Jack, let me ask you this question. What's better, Christmas or football season?
I believe the answer is football season. I think even fucking Santa Claus with his polar bears and Coca-Colas would agree with that. Honestly, the best part about Christmas is the bowl games on Christmas. So let's let it rip. We got big time football season. We've officially made it. We've arrived. 55 straight days of football starting tomorrow. What are our picks tomorrow, Lance? Where are you thinking?
All right. So I know I took a sneak peek at your picks, and I feel a little bad. I took Texas State minus 13 in the college game. Yeah, I don't know much about these teams, but I liked Texas State. I saw them play ASU, and they played tough. They hung in there, and then I saw Sam Houston. I never saw the final score, but I saw they were getting blown out or kind of having a shit off in the game, their last game. I could be wrong. Actually, am I wrong? You know better than me. How was their last game?
Well, yeah. So here's what I was going to say. My promise is I know these teams and I know these conferences, and I'm going to watch these games. So that's my promise to the audience here. Is at least you're going to get an educated perspective. I don't know if it means it's going to be fucking right or not. I mean, history would show us it's probably going to be wrong. The more information I use to actually educate myself on a pick, the worse it gets. If I just sit back and say, this guy's ugly, then and fade him, usually that's the more successful strategy for me. But with that all being said, we are talking a primetime Sunbelt game here between what do we got? The 1-3 Troy Trojans and the beautiful boys from San Marcos in Texas State. So here's the situation. Gerard Parker just took over. He's previously the offensive coordinator at Notre Dame. He's in year one, and the rumor mill has already got this guy on the hot seat. People are already thinking this was a miss, and they might be looking for greener pastures with new leadership.
Wait, they're saying that already. They're saying that already in week one.
Correct.
That's brutal.
Correct.
That's just brutal work for Troy and all their fan base. What are we doing here? It's year one, and you're Troy.
It's a horseshit profession, Lance. That's why I've got headphones on here today, and I'm not fucking wearing a whistle, putting together scouting reports right now. It's a bullshit profession. But yeah, so that's the situation going on in the Troy locker room. Now we get a short week and kind of this let's save the season moment. I think we get a competitive look here, and they run kind of a fun offense. He played football at Kentucky under Hal Mumme, who is the original godfather of the air raid offense. He's the guy that taught it to Mike Leach. And so he's kind of got a bastardized version of that scheme. And I'll tell you, on short weeks, it's tough to get it exactly right for the D coordinator. I expect Troy to have a decent game offensively. And I think 13 at home is just a lot for a Texas State team that, frankly, doesn't have a great win on their record yet. They had high hopes going in. They were favored by 3 against Arizona State at home, gave that game up. Their wins have been against nothing but FCS opponents. 13 on the road on a short week is a ton for Texas State, especially against a Troy team that's got to get right now and are starting to have conversations of, what's our Christmas going to look like? So it's not going to be a bowl game, but hopefully it's recruiting and not on the unemployment line. And then a similar, maybe thought of as shitty game, a little bit of mud for the card. I don't know who's going to watch this game over the NFL game, probably me. But that UTEP Sam Houston game, We've got a beauty. We've got a good Sam Houston team going up against an 0-4 UTEP minor squad. 0-4 El Paso UTEP minor squad. Tough step.
Being
But
on
I
a,
think you can,
I gotta throw something out. You being on a UTEP roster and you're 0-4, that's just gotta hurt, man. Like you gotta reconsider what you're doing, right? I mean,
oh,
I can't
dude.
imagine you're a small school, you're one of those, and you're 0-4. So you're not
Dude,
only shit, but you're shit.
there's nothing truer than it is good to be good and it absolutely sucks to suck. I've been on both sides of that coin. I've been on some good teams where, you're never going to die and everything's possible. And I've been on some bad teams where literally there is no such thing as good news. Just wait longer. It's going to turn to shit. So I understand what UTEP is going for here. Actually played UTEP when I was at Charlotte in a very similar situation. We were 1-4. They were our last game before going into a bye week. And Lance, when I tell you it was the biggest freak show of a game you've ever seen, we ended up throwing a pick six late after a fucking huge comeback, spirited effort.
Oh,
So I know this UTEP team right around this time of the year. And I'm going to tell you at 0-4 and starting to get back on the whiteboard of like, let's return to our identity and let's play sound football. Let's try to shrink this game and win good fundamental football at home in the fourth quarter. They're going to try to shrink this game. What UTEP always does is recruit very well in the trenches. It's just by virtue of where they are geographically. They get a lot of just pissed off, mean, 300 pounds, 6'1" goon guards, and they're going to get behind those boys and run this thing with some heavy personnel sets all day, try to shrink the game. And for that reason, I don't know that I want to mess with the points here because Sam Houston is a bona fide, legitimate, solid team. UTEP appears to be dog shit. But I do think they're going to keep this game try to keep this game as close as they can, and therefore it's screaming under 50.5 to me all damn day long.
hey, I mean, I'm going to be honest, you almost convinced me on the Texas State to flip my side, but I think I'm going to stay true to Texas State. I noticed in the NFL, we both have Bucks money line. Or no, you have Bucks plus 1.5. You took the points. I like it. It's safe.
I can explain the rationale there. I took the Saints with the points, just being, I've had some bad luck. Why leave it up to the gods to make sure I cover on some wonky line? So I took the points, and then I get the last second field goal from the Falcons to win. So I wouldn't have got the money line. Was smart taking the points on the Saints that day. I'm taking the exact same philosophy here. I'm not going to sit there and watch freaking Young Ho Koo stare down a 58-yarder and feel like I like my odds. I never want to be in that situation again. I'm not going to put it there. I'm going to take the points, but honest to goodness, yeah, on some parlays and some stuff, I might tease in a little Bucks money line because I think it's going to be a Baker Mayfield field day. And with that being said, if I'm going to add any other action to this, we like to stay with the major stuff. But Baker over 250 yards passing, over 7.5 on his longest rush. No interceptions is even money for Baker this weekend. Let's remember the Tom Brady comments this last week, kind of talking about this isn't about fun. This is about winning and all that bullshit. Well, Baker Mayfield, we've talked about this. Let's not put him in the position to be the number one overall pick. Let's not put him in a position to make him the top 3 quarterback. Put him in a position where you're talking shit about him and we're saying he's not the guy and go watch him ball out. I think that's the exact Baker we're getting to see on this Thursday night game. I'm excited to see the Bucks roll. And something else to pay attention to, the Bucks did lay an egg against Denver, but outside of that, they've looked like a bona fide playoff team this whole way. And the Falcons, if we go peel back the wins on their 2-2 season, they could easily be 1-3, 0-4. It was a last-second field goal last week to beat the Saints. It was an absolute gift of a play call and a drop pass from Saquon to beat the Eagles the week before. I'd be skeptical about the Falcons here spotting any kind of points, especially to a Bucks team with a motivated Baker Mayfield and a team that looks like they're playoff bound.
Hey, I mean, a lot of what you said was what went through my mind as well. Baker Mayfield is in that underdog role after those Brady comments. Hey, you're betting on the masterclass from Baker, but hey, I don't hate it. I went towards the skill players in the game. I have Bucky Irving over 43.5 rushing yards. I got Godwin over 64.5 receiving yards and Mike Evans over 60.5 receiving yards. I feel like those two receivers, I mean, if the Bucks are going to have success, those two guys are going to get going, as well as the run game that Atlanta surprisingly hasn't been that good and stopping so far this year. And then I also cap it off with Bucky anytime touchdown scorer. That's for my buddy Papa. He's an Oregon Duck, so fire up the Oregon Ducks. Had to put him in there twice. So that's my parlay, and I think on one I got a with Texas State. I think I got a 56 around there multiplier. So I'm a little fired up.
Yeah. Yeah, look out leaderboard. By the way, if Papa, aka Plarp, as he's better known on the Wana platform, doesn't come on the show soon, I'm going to stop hearing about how he's your buddy. He's not your friend until he's a friend of the podcast.
Dude, I mean, you know what? That's damn true, and I'm going to tell him that. But
Yeah.
the guy's got to pay bills. He's working in that gutty mortgage business. He's fighting like hell. So I'm giving him a little bit of a break.
Yeah, we'll give him some breaks on the being a Duck fan as well. But I'll tell you this, I dig the fourth rounder, Bucky Irving. I dig that kid, and it looked like preseason he was going to be a third down guy. You know, maybe some stuff through the air, kind of similar to what we've seen from like the James Whites of the world in the NFL the last couple of years, but kind of a specialist back there. No, he's been an every down back. He's spelling Rashad White plenty. They're giving him the ball in first and goal situations. So I dig everything you got with Bucky Irving, and I'm not going to complain about your receiver overs as well, because if those are hitting, then my thing's hitting. So I'm feeling really good. And once again, if I can just run down Baker Mayfield when he's an underdog versus when he's the favorite, Baker Mayfield was not given a scholarship at Texas Tech to begin his career. Ends up being the starting day one quarterback as a true freshman walk-on. That should be impossible.
It should be impossible. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Then Texas Tech out-recruits him. He says, no worries, I'll transfer to Oklahoma, where he had to beat out an incumbent starter there to get the job. Goes on just to win the Heisman. Whatever. That's fine. And then he gets gifted the first overall pick, and we see the disaster with the commercials and the Cleveland and Hugh Jackson and fucking everything else involved there. He has to do a quick spell with the Panthers. All of a sudden, he goes to the Rams on a shitty Thursday night game. He's got 2 days to prepare. He goes out and wins the fucking game. So I'm just telling you right now, Baker Mayfield in an underdog spot, I'm going to go ahead and bet pretty handsomely every single time I've got him there. And then when he goes and wins this game by 30 and he starts reading his press clippings again, I'm going right back to the other side. Fucking guy's not a front runner.
No, I love the Baker takes. I got James Morris in the chat. He's asking us, this is a little farther down in the week, but Jets versus Vikings. What do you like, Jack?
Ooh, this is our London game this week, isn't it?
I believe so.
So playing nothing but a stupid narrative, but Jets coming off a game they were supposed to win. Jets are going to be the best defense the 49ers or the Vikings have played yet this season. The Vikings second half against the Packers looked like the first chink in the armor we've seen from the Vikings. This is strictly playing a hunch. I'm taking the Jets to cover with the points on that.
I love it. I'm taking Jets as well. I think Brian Flores has done a great job going against those young quarterbacks, but this isn't a young quarterback. You could call him a grandpa quarterback. This is Aaron Rodgers, and I think he's gonna take that W. And then we got another one: Rams versus Green Bay. Who do you like? You know who I like. Rams. House. Come on,
golly, man. Jordan Love with another start under his belt makes me feel like I got to go Packers here, but I just can't believe the Rams are going to keep losing games. They're just not going to be out of the playoff conversation. So that's a complete fucking stay away from me. I want nothing to do with that game. Are you kidding me? I'll get in live on whoever's losing by 14.
Oh God, that's so funny.
Maybe the over. I don't even know what the number is.
No, I don't. I understand what you're saying.
Get me the hell away from the TV and all decision making when that game's on. I have no idea. It's my two favorite coaches in the sport right now. You got Jordan Love coming back, trying to be healthy. The Packers in that second half all of a sudden looked like the team we were promised preseason. The Rams, even though they come back and beat the 49ers, haven't seemed like they've gotten right yet. You still go get beat by the Bears. I don't know if they're getting healthier. I don't know what the depth is at wide receiver this week, if they've got guys back. It's troubling. I don't know what to do with that game. I'm staying the fuck away from it until there's a live position for me to jump in on.
If I have to put money on it, I'd take the Packers. I mean, they just got that first half beating from Minnesota. They bounced back. They tried to claw back, didn't get it done. But they're gonna be a little fired up and be like, okay, Love's back. We kind of got it going. Rams. I mean, they're hurt. The injury bug is just so brutal in some of these seasons. They had in that first couple weeks, they had like 3 linemen drop, Kupp, Nakua out. If you lose those weapons, it's hard to come back and bounce back. I mean, it's just tough. So I would take Packers. I like Packers in that one.
100%. You got to ask your team right now. You got to ask yourself right now which of those two teams is going to make the playoffs. And I think whatever the answer is, there is going to who's going to be who wins this game.
No, 100%. And I would have said Rams. I like their chances to sneak in a wild card spot, but I mean the injury bug's just been brutal.
They played one good half of football this season. That's it.
Yeah. And the injury bug on their offense is brutal. Oh, James Morris just said it. Rams offense is just unhealthy. Yeah, and and he also says their defense looks bad, which I 100% agree with, and I blame motherfucking Aaron Donald for that. You bastard! Why'd you leave? Come back. I missed you.
And James is a Bears guy, so he was watching that game last week. He gets it.
Oh, James is a Bears guy. Well,
Chicago man.
Good work, James. Good work. I wish the best for you because you beat us, and I have nothing. I'm not too hurt about it.
Switch to the Chargers, you coward.
No. There's I'm not going to the Chargers. They've been in San Diego. I could never love a guy like Phillip Rivers. Don't get me wrong, probably a great guy, but a guy that throws sidearm, you're out. I'm done with you. It was that easy.
Yeah, I don't know. How many kids is Phillip Rivers up to? Like 19? What's the household count over there?
Honestly, 19 and a half is a good betting line over under for people that don't know. But I remember hearing the stories that he was like one of the greatest trash talkers, but would never cuss because he never wanted his kids to hear him curse or cuss on live TV.
Yeah, I've seen some of that too. Honestly, some of that stuff pisses me off even more. You know who's the best non-cussing mic'd up guy though of all time? Go watch like the Football Life with Brian Dawkins. He just does a lot of doggone it. Doesn't do any cursing. Just says doggone it a lot. He might be the scariest guy I've ever seen in my life. Like, you want to talk about meeting a guy in an alley? You want to talk about crossing the street late at night? Brian Dawkins is fucking terrifying. He called himself Weapon X. Okay? The guy had a fucking alter ego that he cued into on fucking Sundays. He's muttering to himself absolute nonsense, then ripping your goddamn head off before targeting rules existed.
Wait, James Morris, he says, damn, Jack talking shit, acting like I'm a Bears fan. Whoa, did you miss on James Morris? Whoa, James, what do we got here?
You got it, or Kansas City. What is the flavor of the month? I blew that. I just assumed.
We call that a swing and a miss. How about, and I just saw the Astros are swinging and missing out of the fucking playoffs. Yeah. I hate those guys. Cheaters, bastards, get out.
Yeah, go bang on a can, you fucking bum. Totally kidding. I would bet on the Astros both yesterday and today. So we're down bad. So
You're hurting. I know you and Joe Bags were in on those.
I'm on the O's right now too, who just keep loading the bases and then striking out and flying out and doing all sorts of nonsense. It's October baseball. That's what you get for watching a whole fucking season. That's what you go for 162 up, 162 down. Being a dedicated baseball fan, thinking you know something. AJ Hinch just had my number, man. Fucking joke.
That's so tough. Wait, were the Tigers the team that they were almost completely out of playoff contention and kind of went on a hot run August, September and clinched their way?
Yeah.
And you were betting against them. They're hot. They're ready to go. This is a team I'd underdog the World Series.
If your name isn't Marshall Mathers, I don't fear anybody from Detroit. I said it. I don't give a shit.
James Morris with the call out. Brian Dawkins is the GOAT safety. I'm going to have to say I'm going with Ed Reed. Ed Reed's GOAT safety.
Ed Reed's GOAT safety. I go Ed, then Troy, then Brian.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Brian Dawkins was anything short of a Hall of Fame, just incredible player, but give me Ed Reed.
Yeah,
give me Ed Reed.
That's my response if anyone's asking me that question, not named Brian Dawkins. If Brian Dawkins asked me,
he's the best whatever position he wants me. He says Weapon X more badass. Hey, that you can say that hits harder.
No question.
I don't know, but pick six Magoo, Ed Reed, bro. Like that guy could return anything. He was incredible. Ball hawk.
Ed Reed just had raw swag. You just can't teach it, can't coach it. I'll never have it. I don't even know what it looked. I couldn't even. You sense it when you're around him. I got to be on the sideline a couple of times. He'd be wearing sweats over his pads in pregame, just balling out. I was like, fuck, you're cool. God dang it. What is it like for that? Just to
Sweats
walk
over
around.
your pads and just everyone around is just like, wow, that's got to be the coolest guy in the world.
He's got the visor on. There's Phil Collins bumping in the background in the air tonight. He's doing the drum solo by himself and then bringing up the team with Ray Lewis. And I'm just like, fucking, hey, we're cool. Good day to be wearing black over here. Fuck yeah.
Oh, James Morris just flipped his script. He said Ed Reed was better, but B Doc was cooler, and then now just said true. Ed Reed was likely goat. I think he means likely the goat. Like whatever.
I think that's fair. Which isn't an indictment of Brian Dawkins.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Not at
it's
all.
just you're up against like, the definition of cool here. And it's there's not even an official definition. It's just D like Ed.
Yeah. Exactly.
I'm hurt, dog.
That's
if I'm all right. Hell no. One team said dominate, we're not doing it.
Oh, that's too good. The U. Oh my god, that's incredible. Man, those Ravens used to be so goddamn good. Those defenses. Oh man,
they were so cool. Yeah. Hey, those offenses were fun too. I like Todd Heap and Mark Layton. They were fun.
Oh yeah. what am I talking about? That offense. What was that stretch? 07? Was that 07?
Yeah. 05 to 07, it just really felt like they got the most out of their quarterback play those years. I felt like whoever was instructing on that side of the ball really had, a finger to the pulse of the modern day NFL. That's why you go 13-4 in 2006 and have the first round bye. It's not my fault that you ran into Peyton Manning and the buzzsaw that was Dwight Freeney and the Colts.
Whoever that guy was, Adam Buzzing. I mean, salute to him. He sounds like a legend. Sounds like an all-timer. Well, Jack, I think that's gonna. You want to hit us with the outro?
Anyone feels like making some extra money, here are my extra baseball bets today. I'm going to be on the Brewers and Padres. So if you feel like fading, I'm 0 for 2 to start this day. Get nuts. But as always, and forever, this thing is powered and brought to you by Wanna Parlay, home of the world's richest parlay. We're talking about $2, only $2 for a chance to drastically change your circumstances and win up to $2,000. By the way, as this community keeps building and this thing keeps growing, these prizes are only going to go up and the fun's going to continue on. And the best thing about this thing, Lance, I don't know if you remember me saying $2 to enter, only $2. So you're not going to mess around in some weekend chasing yourself out of a hole, blink your eyes, and all of a sudden you owe an $850 Venmo. Not speaking from real world experience. It's never happened to me once. Certainly didn't happen last weekend. So it's the best place to hang out and place your action. The main event is open now. We've got some people on the leaderboard, but so much time. It's not going to close until Sunday night. Go chase those guys down. Go make yourself $2,000. The Pick 7 will be back up and running this weekend. Got a chance to make $777 if you can just get 7 picks right on that bad boy. And then, as always, the free-to-play parlay of the day is open 24/7. So let that rip, as it is quite literally free money. Wanna parlay, baby.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And also, the VIP experience, Wing House, that one.
Dude, you said it 100%. Actively, I completely forgot to bring up that contest. Yeah, the fantasy, just the football experience of a lifetime with the sponsorship between Wana and Wing House, open till October 27th. You win that bad boy, you're getting 2 free tickets, all expenses paid, to go Monday Night Football, Kansas City versus Tampa Bay in Arrowhead, couple doors down from Taylor Swift. I hope it's Lance, it's you and me, but if it's one of these guys, so be it. Someone's got to go win this thing and have fun on that November 4th Monday Night Football game.
Yep. That's gonna be who. It's us. We're going. We're gonna win.
It feels faded. Understand this. I was an early adopter for Taylor Swift. I can quote things off the Tim McGraw album. We can speak to her time performing live in Hershey Park, Pennsylvania. We have conversation starters locked and loaded. Just give me my chance.
Oh, all right. Well, that's going to do it for us. Thank you, everyone, for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure. We will be back Friday at 4 p.m. Western. And what's that? 7 p.m. Eastern.
7 p.m. Eastern. We'll be richer, better looking, the whole thing.
I don't know about better looking, Jack. I think you're cooked.
Oh, I've got plans. I've got appointments. People say I can make some real changes. So stay tuned.
All right. That'll be all, folks. See ya.